how this plays out is like this. We've got data, and data is meaningless when we've just got all of this data which just consistently grows. Data, the amount of data is growing exponentially day by day. It's meaningless. It becomes information when we can highlight specific distinctions of what's playing out. We can actually start to see that this one's different to this one, and this one's different to this one, and this one's different to this one. There are certain distinctions of what's playing out with that. Then we move into the next level where we actually start to have knowledge, which is really a process or a method, because we can actually see how each thing starts to connect up. And this is very much based on the relationship that is playing out between the different pieces of information that was previously just data. When we actually start to see a framework, this is based on insights. We can see that this point here is the most important, and so is this point, which is all about what's significant. We can't recognize the significance of the most important point, then it's very difficult to be able to communicate based on the appropriate context for the person that we're speaking with. Now, we're in a very unique point in time right now, because previously there was more and more data being created, and then ChatGPT came along, right? We have a way to be able to sort through a lot of the data and determine what is significant on a technological level right now, which has created shifts in terms of, it used to be people would pay a premium for knowledge. Then people would start to pay a premium for insights. Now that's becoming less and less prevalent. It becomes more and more important to be able to create a higher level of communication around what we're doing. So what's beyond insights then? Any ideas? Understanding. Patterns, yes. What else? Sequence. Definitely. Results, yeah. What's the difference between this one here, the fifth dimension? No, it's not even here. One of our clients just she's here energetically. You know. So what happens here is we go from data to information to knowledge to insights. What people are willing to pay a premium for in many instances is the speed, right? And the speed comes from wisdom, which is highlighting what is the fast pathway to be able to get them from where they are to where they want to be. How do we avoid all of the other distractions that are playing out to ensure that they can get from A, from where they're at, to B, where they want to be, as quickly as possible. You need to understand the sequence that you can take people through to be able to get there as quickly as possible. Make sense? People will pay a premium for speed. So how quickly are you currently getting your clients' results? How quickly do you get them results in 3 days, in 3 months, in 3 years? How quickly are you currently getting them results? Because whatever that is today, whatever that is yesterday, we want it to be faster by the end of today. So we're starting to see the power in models, right? The other thing that you might notice is, at this point, one of the core distinctions between some of these are, you notice that there's a sequence of this. You notice that there's a sequence of this. There's a specific sequence that he goes through in terms of how he communicates. It's the distinction between, in many instances, a framework or a diagram compared to a model. A model has a sequence. So if there is no sequence, then it's really just a diagram in many instances. Make sense? Thanks. But there's an even deeper level than that, right? There's still another section more powerful than models. So what is that? This is the woo-woo section, you know? Essence, holographics, models. Well, when we actually start to go through the sequence of creating things, the higher level is when we have, you know, have that experience where it's all connected, right? And when it's all connected, what are we? We're conspiracy theorists, right? Because it's all interconnected. You can't see it with the light properly, but that's a unicorn. That's drawn on there. And when we get to this level, it's really what we call artistry, because what we're really doing is we're using metaphor models at this highest level, because we can use a metaphor to be able to create this capacity to be able to create change on an unconscious level. A metaphor model integrates the left brain and the right brain to be able to create synergy in someone's mind. It's balancing the intuitive and the intellectual energies that people have. And when we bring the facilitation aspect to this, this becomes artistry. What are we learning from this so far? Let's take a couple of quick shares. Going to get a mic runner up. So, you're going to take a couple of quick shares, hand up, what you learned from this. Travis?
So for me, with the people I help is essentially who I was in a past life, or 6 months ago, whatever. I fucking love models. Why the hell am I not doing it for the people that I work with? Like, understanding that and making sense of it straight away, like me being a bit on the spectrum, I'm just like, yeah, bro, this is sick. Why the hell? And I notice this every time I see a model of something, especially when you understand. Like, my program's called Rewire. I could literally have a brain with a mapping of like what happens with the unconscious to the conscious.
Yep.
Because when you're trying to word it, people are just like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? But if they can see it straight away, like you just said, that synergy aspect happens. So, dude, this is huge. I'm good. I can like leave now. So.
Great. Thank you. One more.
I've got a lot of models, and what I find is that, like, seeing this one in front of me, for example, is like trying to give someone a model without the knowledge beforehand or a collection of data is then it actually overloads the brain too much because you're trying to teach something they still don't understand.
Yep.
And I feel like that's my default settings. Like, yeah, cool, check this out and I'll show you. And I actually need to probably ask more questions and set up more info or data beforehand before I show them the model, so that when they see it, then it actually all falls into place and makes sense.
Yep.
So yeah, even though I've got models, it's like, yeah, I'm trying to teach the last thing first and not the first thing last.
Yep. Great. Big learning. Every single model has a specific context where it applies and where it stopped working. And if you just give someone, if I just go to my book and I open it up and just give them that, it's like hilarious. I open up and there's just a model there. Who would have thought? If I just give them that and they don't have the foundational components of each of the individual things, then do they really get the most dramatic change from it? And the answer is no, which is exactly one of the biggest mistakes that we see people make with models is they apply it to the wrong context.